how can I be happy with what is right in front of me? This is a question that I've had in my mind for a long time now, and that I've tried to answer through multiple mediums, one of which, of course, has been photography. You see, after a lot of years of traveling and living in multiple countries, I realized that I had become dependent of the novelty of the new place to find myself feeling creative and to come up with photographs that I liked. I was constantly searching for the next great adventure that I could document with my camera, or otherwise I would leave it packed in its bag. And this didn't bother me for a long time. The thrill of finding the next awesome place in which to be was enough of a high dopamine hit to not question myself too much about what was I doing. But then, I found myself living in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, the first long-term settlement I had had in many years. A massively intricate city located halfway across the world from where I grew up, with millions of people living within a complex cultural structure, and yet, for weeks and even months at a time, I couldn't be bothered to go out for a walk with my camera. If it didn't involve traveling to a different place from where the one I was, I really didn't care too much about it. And it was in this moment that I realized that this wasn't sustainable for my creativity in the long run. Which is why I started taking my first little baby steps in the world of street photography. Afterwards, COVID hit. The world came to a halt and I found myself living in Bali. And like lots of other creatives during that period, decided to do something with all the free time I had in my hands. For me, this took the shape of a challenge, to take at least one photo each day for a whole year and to publish all of them in my Instagram stories. Well, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and I didn't care too much about the quality or the content of the images that I was taking, so long as I stick to the schedule. The reason for picking this challenge is because all the lessons that I was trying to internalize back then pointed to the same direction. To liberate my creativity from its dependency to the novel, I had to look inwards rather than outwards. My hope was that through this challenge, I would go deeper into myself and my photography, and through that, learn how to see more than what is readily available at the surface level. I began the challenge by sticking to the area where I was living at that moment. There were vast fields of rice paddies around me, so I walked amongst them early in the morning, enjoying the calmness and trying to take notice of the subtle changes as time went by. Later on, I continuously drove my bike into the center of Ubud and methodically explored the streets. At the height of the pandemic, Ubud was like a ghost town. Most businesses around the main areas were closed because of the lack of tourism, a lot of them even boarded or simply abandoned. Strangely enough, life kept moving forward. I was surprised to see that the daily offerings and ceremonies never stopped, and the morning markets were as busy as ever. Back in the villages, men kept stroking their roosters and gong gamelan bands kept playing their hypnotic tunes. This was a unique opportunity to see Bali in a way that hasn't been possible since mass tourism became rampant in the island a couple of decades ago. So I kept going, and through this going, I began to find patterns, motifs that kept appearing over and over again everywhere I looked, stick to windows, hanging on walls, or reflected on the mirrors. But the most important thing for me personally is that I began to see patterns in the type of things that caught my own eye. So by the end of the challenge, I could see and feel the difference in my photographs. Wherein years before I had been aimlessly shooting everything that crossed my lens, I was now more aware of what I was shooting and why I was doing it. I now saw photographs before they happened and even learned to have the patience to visit the same spot over the course of weeks until all the elements I wanted converged in a single frame. I even dared to go into places and face uncomfortable situations that I wouldn't have dared to before. But most importantly, I noticed a newfound voice that was coming through me, a voice that felt ready and confident in the things it had to say. So when the time came to finally answer the question, how can I be happy with what is right in front of me? The voice said, find meaning in it. There was meaning to be found in walking the same streets over and over again. There was meaning to be found in connecting more deeply with the places and the people that I met. And interestingly, what had started as a quest for happiness ended up becoming a quest for meaning. For I had learned that happiness had less to do with the external factors around me and more with my own perception of what I was seeing. In the end, I understood that finding meaning is a choice that I need to make every day through my daily actions, and that happiness is just one of its byproducts. So there's no need for me to go out there grasping for whatever I think will make me happy. During the next few months after I finished my challenge, I continued taking photographs in a more methodical way, and also working on a layout that later became my first photo book called Lost in Paradise. In it, I compiled the best photos from that year of photography along with some extras, as well as a few short essays about my insights and thoughts on Bali. As you might have noticed in these or other videos from my channel, for a while now I've been using the medium of photography as a tool for self-discovery. And I believe that having long-term projects like this is a great way of, first of all, improving our craft, but also of understanding ourselves and the world a little bit better. This is all I have for now. But before I go, please tell me, have you ever done any creative projects like this? Share them with me in the comments. As usual, please give a thumbs up and share this video if you like it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. For now, peace.
That's good.